Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Racing Form YouTube. I'm Gino Buccola alongside Mike Beer with producer Bobby helping us out as we finish up the card at Woodbine on Saturday. I believe they have 5 graded stakes races and I think an all graded stakes pick 4 to close out the card. Race number 10 is going to go as the grade 2 Nassau. We'll preview this one for you. Mile on the turf course. Mike, we have a big field lining up. Field of 12 in here. I think we can probably start with a horse like Caitlin, her greatness, who's proven, who's solid, beat the boys in the King's Plate last year, and she got a nice win in her first start off the bench. But I don't think she's a cinch in this race. I think she's solid and certainly one of the more likely winners, probably the most likely winner. But in a big field like this, race where there's not that much early speed on paper, too, I think you can go in some directions here.
Don't have a lot to add to that, Gino. I'm going to agree with everything you just said. I mean, she's the morning line favorite. I agree that she should be the the favorite in this race, and she is the horse to beat. But it's not like she's a total standout in here. She's got some quality wins on her card for sure. The last time they ran her on turf was a grade 1. She finished a really good third that day at Keeneland. I mean, she's the horse to beat, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other horses that you want to take a really long look at in here.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector and see how they think this race sets up. Ocean Club's best races are when this horse is able to get to the front end and establish the lead there. You have horses like Miss Tart and Ready to Jam. They're stretching out from sprint races. So no surprise to me seeing them forward, but I thought this was kind of a murky pace. Like, I think Ocean Club will be forward. I feel like they'll try to get aggressive with that one. Wouldn't shock me to see a couple of these other sprinters up there too.
Yeah, I thought that the pace was pretty tough to decipher, and I agree with you that Ocean Club, that kind of feels like her preferred running style is just to, sort of go and see, if she can make the lead in her races. I also think the other thing about this pace that is maybe a positive for the favorite, Caitlin Her Greatness, is she's very tactical. I mean, she could be on the lead if they wanted it. She's got that kind of speed, but she's super handy. She's going to get the right kind of a trip.
Yep. Caitlin Her Greatness. Tough to poke holes in overall, but just on those figures and stuff, maybe not a standout. Don't want to take too short of a price. Let's meet the field here for the grade 2 Nassau, race number 10 on Saturday at Woodbine, mile on the turf course here. We start out with Blueberry Fields, who is grade 3 place, but she's going to be making her first start as a 7-year-old, her first start in 7.5 months. And most of her work has been on the synthetic surfaces, Mike, and she's going to be going a mile on the turf. So this really isn't even where she's at her best.
Yeah, I thought she was kind of hard to make a case for. I'll be lenient for that last start where they tried to get, the 1.25 miles, and maybe it's just too far for her. But it's not like any of her other races makes me want to bet her in here.
Creval d'Oro comes into this race off a win at Woodbine, going a mile on the turf course, but will need to step up to compete with a group like this. She was second in the grade 3 Celine on a synthetic surface last year. Can you make a case for her?
I really couldn't. I thought the two inside horses were just kind of tough to get behind. I mean, I don't really have like huge knocks on either one of them. I'm just not convinced that either one of them is good enough to beat this field.
Feel the exact same way, right? It's a big field. It's competitive. There are just a lot of horses that have run faster races than those two towards the inside. Ready for Sherrill, the 3, and then the number 4, Caitlin Her Greatness. Both come out of the same race. That was on May the 31st at Woodbine. I think we have a replay that we can show you of that one in just a moment, where Ready for Sherrill was 3rd. Caitlin Her Greatness wins, was just behind the leaders, got a really perfect trip that day. Yep. But as you were pointing out, Mike, the thing with Caitlin, she has that kind of tactical style where that's the trip she works out. Ready for Sherrill's more of a deeper closer. She's still pretty lightly raced. And overall, her body of work isn't bad. I could see her being okay in a spot like this. I think she is one that just kind of needs the trip, and we're not really sure what the pace is going to be like in here.
Yeah, just really, I agree with that. I mean, to me, she was one of the tougher calls in here. Really well-bred horse. She had a lot of buzz about her when she won her debut from way back at Keeneland last year. And then in her next turf start, it just felt like she took the step forward you wanted her to take when she won 2 starts later, kept way closer to the pace, still finished really well. And you were hoping that maybe she'd be that kind of a horse going forward. And it just kind of, for whatever reason, hasn't happened for her yet, Gino. We'll see if she puts it all together here as an older horse. I don't think she's impossible in here, but I ultimately couldn't quite get to her.
Caitlin Her Greatness is next, and that was the one who defeated Ready for Sherrill last time out. And this was the first start of the year for Caitlin Her Greatness. This was probably exactly what they were hoping for, Mike, in your first start back. Yep. Got a pretty soft trip, sitting not too far out of it. Didn't have to battle with anyone, not any traffic, anything like that at all. Really smooth. So that's the first start as a 4-year-old. Now she can go second start as a 4-year-old, and she gets back to the turf. She's proven on the turf, on the synthetic, and the dirt. I mean, overall, she's just a very solid 4-year-old filly, your 2024 King's Plate winner.
Yeah, I just feel like this is everything that you would want out of a 4-year-old debut from a horse who was really good at 3. You come back off the layoff, you win easily without having to get all in. You earn a new buyer top to a 95, which suggests she has moved forward from 3 to 4. I understand that she sort of made her name on the main track up there in Canada, but she's run fine on the turf. She's just a horse to beat.
Cover your eyes, Mike, as we move to Ready to Jam. We have a replay of this one from last time out. It's funny, if you or someone who played Ready to Jam last time, I think going into the starting gate was around 8-1, and then floats up and ends up going off at almost 13-1, getting a really nice trip, moves to the lead. And even at this point early in the stretch, Missed Heart was still last and was kind of leading on the wrong lead and like a little green here. And it looks like Ready to Jam is just home free, but Missed Heart on the outside runs this one down. They were actually the 5 and 7 in that race. They're the same 2 numbers again in this race. Again here, Mike, this was a brutal beat though for anyone who backed Ready to Jam. And it's kind of a race that Missed Heart kind of had come out of nowhere. She was 70-1 in that spot.
Yeah, it was a brutal beat for Ready to Jam, but it was also a loss without an excuse, as far as I could tell. I mean, I don't know how she doesn't win there.
Perfect.
Just getting
moved
beat
early, everything.
Yeah, getting beat by a 1,000,000 to 1 shot doesn't give me high hopes for her. The other thing, that makes me not like her here is the reason I think that I liked her anyway, and maybe the reason that you liked her last time as well, is because she's a better sprinter, and they were finally sprinting her. I don't like her stretching back out.
Completely agree. You just look, her better races are going shorter, that 6.5-ish range on that turf course up there. We move to Metaphysical. She was one that was a tough read for me. She was second in the grade 3 Dogwood on the dirt at Churchill in 2023. All 3 of her wins have been on the synthetic. She'll go now second start as a 5-year-old mare. What do we do with Metaphysical?
I just thought she was another one who was kind of hard to make a case for. She's a big price on the morning line. She'll be a big price at post time. I sort of respect that she was in good form at the end of last year once this trainer took over, and now she's second off the layoff. So maybe she'll move forward in here, but I'm still not betting her.
Missed Heart is still last at the top of the lane in that replay we showed you. She comes flying late to get by Ready to Jam, but she's now a grade 3 winner, moving to a mile where she's been. I mean, we saw her best race going a little bit shorter, and her other really good race was going shorter. I just got to make her prove it to me in here, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, listen, good for them for getting back to the grass last time, taking a shot in a grade 3 at a huge price, and then getting the money too. So, good for them. We'll see if she can do it again.
Ocean Club, grade 3 Noble Damsel winner, whose best races when you dive into the form are going along on the turf when this horse is able to get the lead and kind of establish that out front. She's also solid on the synthetic surfaces as well, but I think getting to the lead, getting able to clear, and then getting things her own way is going to be important for her in a spot like this. What'd you give Ocean Club's chances in here?
I mean, I didn't want to totally dismiss her. I didn't see her early speed being some kind of huge advantage in this race. Yeah. I mean, even if she makes the lead, the favorite's going to be sitting right up there with her, I believe. And there are other horses that could go as well. I don't know. She's fine. I've never been a big fan of hers. I don't mind them running her in this spot. She's a great price on the morning line. If you like her and think she's going to get to the lead in here, better.
Yeah, I think she's more of an under type that we're expecting to be forwardly placed. Maybe she can hang around for a share, but I did think the top couple are in a little bit of a different tier than her. Mixologist is going to go into the Josie Carroll barn for the first time. She's a wild card coming off a 9-month break. She has not raced since September at Belmont at Aqueduct. Did have a pretty good race at Saratoga last year where she was put up to first via DQ. Can you get a feel for her off the long layoff?
Yeah, I like this filly a little bit. Well, it'd be interesting to see what she does here. It's a pretty long layoff for her to have to overcome against, what shakes out is a pretty solid field, but she was good last year, man. Didn't get a lot of racing out of her, but she was good. The Saratoga race, the first Saratoga race that she didn't win, she just sort of broke poorly and then had to rush and sort of ran a lot better than it may look on paper that day. And then obviously improved when she was put up in her next start. Her Jockey Club Oaks, that wasn't a poor performance at all going really long. I don't know. She's got a lot of upside.
Yeah, even her second start, I think she didn't really get a great ride that day. She seemed like they weren't able to get a hold of her, kind of let her loose a little bit early. And overall, that body of work isn't bad. It kind of warmed up more to her as we were talking it out. Sweet Rebecca, should get a pretty good trip in here. Another one who can work out her own trip, can sit close. Thought it was a good effort at Keeneland on April the 25th over that yielding turf course. That was her first start since July of last year. So she might even have a little more foundation now and be able to step forward. I just feel like she could sit a pretty good trip here from the outside, Mike.
Yeah, that's what she did last time. Just sat right up close, powered to the lead there, and was able to hold on against a pretty good allowance field. She's pretty good, Gino, for sure. To me, I just want to wait and see what kind of price she wanted to throw off. I don't really feel like I would take too short a price on her. Her first 2 starts were good. If you go back to the Wonder again last year, where she lost at a really short price, you could see her like bobble on the second turn, took like a bad step, lost her momentum, and then just couldn't really recover there. And it felt like maybe that affected her confidence a little bit. I don't know. Her Lake George, the final start last year, was not a good performance. Just got a good trip and wasn't good enough in that race. And then she did recover to win off the layoff last time. She seems like she's pretty good. I'm leery of taking a short price on her.
Mission of Joy is a horse, so I'm really curious how this one gets bet. This is a 5-year-old mare who's a multiple graded stakes winner. She's multiple grade 1 place. She was favored in one of those grade 1 Belmont Oaks races a few years back against really good company. Even last year, you look at the races in the back-to-back grade 1s in the Just a Game and the Diana, she ran very good races. Like anything like that in a spot like this would make her really tough. But you look at her last 8 starts or so in the last year and a half, she's only hit the board twice. Even though she's faced tougher company, she's like in and out of form. I mean, if she's a bigger price, I could absolutely play her. I just wouldn't want to take a shortish price on her. She was one of the trickier reads for me in this one, Mike.
I agree with with your take on her 100%. She's a tough read, and she was bad last time. I don't think that should go unnoticed. She was bad last time when they stepped her back up into a stakes race. My take on her has always been, Gino, and you mentioned like those 2 grade 1s at Saratoga last summer. 97 buyers. She's beaten a length in the Just a Game. And to me, those races look better on paper than they actually are. I didn't think that she ran that well either time. I mean, she ran fine, but she just wasn't good enough to win those races. She's not a grade 1 horse. This is obviously a way better spot for her. I think she can win. I kind of talked myself into some other horses in here.
She would be the type of horse who on a ticket, like a pick 4, pick 5, on a stronger opinion in an earlier race, I would have her on a ticket, because if you hit your strong opinions earlier in the day and you're alive in this last race, you want to have her in the mix too, especially if she is in that like 8 to 1-ish range. We round out the field, Mike. This is one of my I can't quit you horses, Austere. We all have some of those like personal favorite horses where I make like more of a case for, I think, some of the trouble that she has sometimes or some of the races that she has. I think she's a little bit better than some of her speed figures might suggest. I don't know if she's going to win this race, but I can see her being bottom of exotics, super kind of horse at a fair price. And I actually think she'll float up. Like, if she's 6 to 1, that might be shorter than I would want to play her in this race. It's pretty competitive, but we all have horses like this. She's a stakes winner. She's grade 3 place. She chased Lone Speed on a pretty front end favoring turf course last time out at Pimlico. What do you think about Austere?
I think you're right about the price. I don't think I would take 6 to 1 on her either, but I see her maybe going off a little bit higher than that when all is said and done in this race. And you're right, Gino. I mean, it's been a while. She won that allowance race at the end of last year, and then her stakes tries it seems like she's not quite good enough. But man, you can watch the Florida Oaks and the Appalachian and just think she didn't get great trips at either one of those races. And then the race last time, not only does she get wired, but right when Irad wanted to get her going on the final turn there, she runs into traffic. He has to lose all his momentum, and she just had way too much to do in the stretch. I still thought that she ran really well in there. I mean, I don't love her in here, but I do think that she's a little bit sneaky, and I think she's going to be a fair price.
And that's your field for the grade 2 Nassau. Let's move to selections for this one, Mike. I think you and I kind of felt the same about some of the horses to beat in here, like Sweet Rebecca and Caitlin Her Greatness. We both have them in the top 4 in different spots, and you're going to look for some value on top.
Yeah, I'm just going to try Austere. We just sort of talked about her, so I won't rehash it, but I just think she's better than she looks on paper. Trips are more important to her maybe than some of the others, but I think if she gets a good one, she can come running in here. And I'll take a shot with her at a price over the favorite, Caitlin Her Greatness, who I do think is the horse to beat. I'm going to wait. Your top pick, I know she can win. I want to see what kind of price she is.
Completely agree. I don't know if Sweet Rebecca is going to be playable, but if she is in that like 7 to 2, 3 to 1, and she doesn't get bet down, that's fine. If she's 5 to 2 lower, not in this big field, I'll look for elsewhere, and maybe I'll warm back up to my old friend Austere, who maybe floats back up a little bit more. So for Mike, 12, 4, 9, 10 for me, 10, 4, 12, 8. But whoever you play, however you play them, we wish you the best of luck.